Chris, what an encouragement. I mean, to see someone stand up and just speak boldly the truth, speak boldly from a heart of faith, speak boldly the things that everyone is thinking and no one is saying, or very few are saying. It's so encouraging to see this rising up in California.
Yeah. He is an example of a apostolic Christian in the mold of the earliest evangelicals. He really is. I think that, the way he lives, the way he speaks is really faithful to the pure message of Jesus. And I understand now what he means. He didn't talk about it today on the show, but we were talking about it on the pre-show where he talks about the importance of dispensing with mechanical religious ritual that is not from the heart, that is not sincerely felt. He said to throw it off and to return to the pure, vibrant movement of grace in the heart. And that seems to be what he possesses. And he talks about the institutional church, Danielle, in California. There was a point in the show when he was talking about, how they tend to speak to each other every week. They speak to each other, and every now and then they'll have a convert, but they're not really engaged in the sort of evangelization on a broad scale that we're all called to.
Yeah. And what's interesting, Chris, is I picked up yesterday a book by David and Timothy Barton called America's Beginnings. I think it's called America's Beginnings, something like that. And the pilgrims who came over and all of the early Americans who came over from England and other places, but mainly England, seeking freedom from religious persecution, they didn't go back because they wanted to speak the truth. They wanted to share the gospel with this unreached people, with this unreached territory called that became the United States of America. And I was also in this book, the first governor, I believe, of Connecticut, um, wrote what ultimately I think became a lot of the premise for the U.S. Constitution. But what he said was so simple. He outlined the early parts of the Constitution, and then he said, anything that's not in here, just go look in the Bible, and you'll find the laws in there.
Wow.
And I'm like, can you imagine if we just got back to that level of simplicity in the way that we govern ourselves, how free we would truly be?
Yeah, and that's the last thing that these evil forces want.
Yeah, because complication begets corruption. We've talked about that for so long now, that all of these little complications, saying everything's so complicated, gender's so complicated. No, it's not. It's pretty simple. It's
Yeah,
binary.
it's not all life is not always easy, and it's not always easy to follow the truth and to do the truth, but it's not complicated
That's right.
to understand it, and God is not complicated when it comes to what he expects of us. But I was just very moved by Pastor Che, and you know, who knows what can happen out there
That's
in
right.
California, right?
That's right. Anything is possible. With God, all things are possible. So I will just encourage our listeners to be praying for Pastor Che, pray for California, pray for revival. I think it's just what an opportunity we have to see our whole nation turned around. Maybe this is the wave that we are looking for.
Yeah. And as goes California, Danielle, so goes the nation. He's so 100% right.
That's right.
May revival and a return to the heart of Jesus sweep our country.